Hello everyone. This is to continue the LEA review series that I have started several months or even probably years ago. And this time I will be still continuing the area of animal science, particularly genetics and livestock improvement. So I have finished 5 items last time. I explained 5 items, and this time let's continue with, of course, item number 6. This is the question. The factors influencing the expression of a phenotype of an individual for a particular trait are the genotype, environment, and their interaction. The genotype by environment interaction is equated to 0 if A. Individuals are raised in the same environment. B. Individuals are of the same breed. C. Individuals given the same diet are raised in the same pen. D. Different genotypes receive different management. And E. Different genotypes respond similarly in the same environment. I repeat the question. The factors influencing the expression of a phenotype of an individual for a particular trait are the genotype, environment, and their interaction. The genotype by environment interaction is equated to 0 if A. Individuals are raised in the same environment. B. Individuals are of the same breed. C. Individuals given the same diet are raised in the same pen. D. Different genotypes receive different management, or different genotypes respond similarly in the same environment. Okay, recall ninyo yung formula na P is equal to G plus E plus G by E, where P represents the phenotype, G represents the genotype or the genetic makeup of the organism or individual, E represents the environment or the non-genetic factors influencing the expression of the phenotype for a particular trait. And this is our concern in the problem. The genotype by environment interaction. Ini-equate daw natin ito sa 0 kapag, kailan natin ini-equate to 0 ito? Ayan, nahuli pala yung phenotype, genotype, environment, and the genotype by environment interaction. But regardless, ini-equate natin sa 0 ang G by E kapag yung phenotype ay pareho across all genotypes na ginamit, raised in the same environment. Ang sagot is letter E. Different genotypes respond similarly in the same environment. Ang ibig sabihin yan, kapag daw nag-alaga ka ng dalawang, example natin kapag daw nag-alaga ka ng 2 different breeds ng baboy, halimbawa, suppose you are raising Duroc at saka large white, but you give the same management. When you say environment, that represents the management practices that you employ in your farm. So, magkaiba yung breed na yon, Duroc at saka large white. Pero pareho ka ng management system na binibigay sa kanya. Same amount of feed, same schedule of feeding, same feeding scheme, same housing, and so on. Lahat-lahat pareho. Ang nagkaibahan lang nila ay yung breed. But at the end of the day, nakita mo na yung phenotype nila, when you say phenotype ay yung performance nila ha. It could be the feed conversion ratio, their growth rate, the average daily gain, their carcass quality, meat quality, whatsoever. Kapag pareho ang response, ang performance, or ang phenotype ng dalawang breeds na yon, given the same management, that means G by E equals 0. Yun yung ibig sabihin nun. G by E equals 0. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng letter E. Different genotypes respond similarly in the same environment. In the same way, kung meron tayong another option, ang other case, situation or scenario kung kailan nagiging 0 ang G by E is kapag same genotypes raised in the same genotypes respond similarly in different environments. Yung sitwasyon natin kanina, magkaibang breeds pero parehong management. Ngayon naman, magka-similar, meaning parehong breeds pero ibang management. But still, they yield the same performance. Pareho pa rin yung phenotype nila. Okay? So, ang halimbawa nun is parehong large white ang inalagaan mo, magkaiba lang ng management. Magkaibang feeding system, magkaibang housing, magkaibang space requirements, ano pa ba, magkaibang health management and so on, but still they have the same performance. In that case, G by E is still equal to 0. Okay? Kasi ang concern natin is the response. So, ang may keyword lang na response sa number 6 or sa options ay letter E. Yung letter A kasi, individuals are raised in the same environment. Hindi kasi sinabi yung genotype. No? Ang concern lang or ang ini-emphasize lang ng letter A ay environment. Hindi sinabi yung genotype. Pareho ba sila ng genotype? Magkaiba ba ng genotype? Ano yung response? Wala. A, B, C, and D, walang response na dinescribe. Walang phenotype. Sa letter E, may phenotype na dinescribe. So, yung letter E, yung sagot. Proceed tayo sa number 7. The question is, who among the following scientists believed that superior parents were more likely to produce superior progeny than were inferior parents? A. William Bateson. B. Gregor Mendel. C. Robert Bakewell. D. J. Lash. Or E. None of the choices. I repeat the question. Who among the following scientists believed that superior parents were more likely to produce superior progeny than were inferior parents? A. William Bateson. B. Gregor Mendel. C. Robert Bakewell. D. J. Lash. Or E. None of the choices. O, sino daw sa mga scientists na nabanggit ang nagsabi na kapag superior daw yung parents, superior din yung performance ng anak? Basically, Robert Bakewell ang nagsabi nun. Kasi ang principle ni Robert Bakewell ay like begets like. Ibig sabihin nun, pag ang parents mo superior, ganun din ang performance ng anak. Superior, maganda din. Okay? Yun yung sinabi ni Robert Bakewell. So, siya ay isang British agriculturist and he is considered as the father of classical animal breeding. Pag sinabi natin classical, of course, yun ay mga older times. Kasi, bakit natin na in-emphasize na classical? Kasi meron din tayong nire-recognize na father of modern animal breeding. Okay? So, siya din yung nag-introduce or nag-introduce ng progeny testing. Pag sinabing progeny testing, ginagamit mo yung records ng progeny, ng offspring, or ng anak as basis to select your breeder animals. Yan yung progeny testing. Ang progeny testing, otherwise called as progeny selection. And he was also the first to implement systematic selective breeding of livestock, particularly sheep and cattle in England. Pag sinabi nating selective breeding, yan ay artificial selection. Ang selection kasi or pagpipili ng breeder animals ay may dalawang klase, artificial and natural. Pag sinabi nating pag sinabi nating natural selection, you allow the environment to choose which among the individuals in a population will become parents. Pag naman artificial selection, there is an intervention made by man, meaning tao ang pumipili. The farmer, the breeder, the livestock raiser chooses which among the animals will be selected as parents. Kasi pag tao ang pipili, gamitin niya ang performance as basis to select. Kapag kasi environment ang pipili, random lang, no? Whoever will survive will reproduce. Yun ang natural selection. But in artificial selection, may pakialam ang tao, ang farmer sa pagpipili. Of course, you have to choose the best, the better performing animals. So yun yung kay Robert Bakewell. Okay? Next item, number 8, with codominance, the genotypes homozygous dominant B, heterozygous B, and homorecessive B, blank. A, have the same phenotype. B, have different phenotypes. C, interact with one another. D, are not expressed unless there is another gene present. Or E, are linked. I repeat the question: with codominance, the genotypes homozygous dominant B, heterozygous B, and homorecessive B, A, have the same phenotype. B, have different phenotypes. C, interact with one another. D, are not expressed unless there is another gene present. Or E, are linked. Okay, apply natin yung elimination method. Okay? Very important yung comprehension, kailangan nating maintindihan, yung question, at saka yung choices. And ang sunod doon, kailangan nating mag-eliminate. Kasi 5 yung choices eh. Pag 5 yung choices, ang chance lang na makukuha mo yung tamang sagot ay 20%. And kapag nag-eliminate ka, from 5, nag-eliminate ka ng isa, you have 25% of getting the correct answer. Chance of getting the correct answer. Kapag nag-eliminate ka ng 2, you have 33% chance of getting the correct answer. Pag nag-eliminate ka ng 3, you have 50% chance of getting the correct answer. So as much as possible, eliminate the distractors as many as you can until you can select the best answer. Yun yung technique. Okay? So dito, ang i-eliminate natin, of course, ay letter D. Eliminate natin yon. Sabi kasi dito, they are not expressed, genotypes are not expressed unless there is another gene present. That is wrong. No? Kasi, hindi naman sa lahat ng pagkakataon, kailangan mo ng another gene para ma-express ang phenotype for a particular trait. Kasi dito, ang nakalagay dito, single locus lang naman. Okay? So, tanggalin natin ang letter D. Next, letter E. Tanggalin din natin ang link na option. Okay? Kasi hindi na ang link lang naman, it's the gene eh. Ang consideration natin or ang kino-consider dito sa problem, genotype. Kasi kung babasahin mo yung question, if you complete it, with codominance, the genotypes, homodominant B, hetero B, and homorecessive B are linked. No. The genotypes will not be linked. It's only the gene that is linked. Okay? So, eliminate D, eliminate E. C. Let's check C. They interact with one another daw. It's not the genotypes that interact. It's the gene that interacts with another gene. Okay? So, hindi yung genotypes yung nag-i-interact, kundi yung alleles or yung genes. So, alleles of the same locus interact or genes of different loci interact. So, eliminate letter C. Letter C is not the correct answer. Now, we are only left with 2. Meron na tayong 50% chance of getting the correct answer. Recall from the types of dominance na meron tayong iba't ibang klase, correct? Complete dominance, incomplete dominance, codominance, what else? Overdominance. Yung sinasabi ng complete dominance, the presence of the dominant allele produces the dominant phenotype. That's the complete dominance. That's the type of dominance used by Mendel. Yun namang incomplete dominance, ang sinasabi ng incomplete dominance is that yung phenotype daw ng 2 parents na magkaiba yung phenotype ay intermediate. Yung phenotype ng offspring coming from 2 parents with different phenotypes will produce an intermediate phenotype. So that means the homodominant B, the hetero B, and the homorecessive B will now have different phenotypes. Okay. So, ang sagot dito, nasabi na natin, letter B. Bakit hindi possible ang A? Because tatlo ito eh. Homodominant B, hetero B, and homorecessive B will not have the same phenotype. Bakit? Kasi you have here, kung ang tanong lang is the genotypes, homodominant B, and hetero B, tama yung letter A. Pero meron tayong homorecessive B dito. And we know that the dominant phenotype is not the same as the recessive phenotype. Okay? So, ang tamang sagot dito ay letter B. Nakapag-produce tayo ng ibang phenotypes with these 3 different genotypes. Same is true with incomplete dominance, no? Codominance man yan at saka incomplete dominance. Each genotype has its distinct phenotype. Okay? Next, number 9. All of the following are phenotypes except A, litter size, B, coat color, C, drooping ears, D, polled, E, A, and B. I repeat the question. All of the following are phenotypes except A, litter size, B, coat color, C, drooping ears, D, polled, E, A, and B. Bago natin sagutin, ano ba yung phenotype? Pag sinabi nating phenotype, it's a specific category of a trait. Oh, meron na akong na-introduce na word, trait. Pag sinabi nating trait, it's an attribute, a feature, or a characteristic. And it is more general than a phenotype. A trait is a noun, while phenotype is an adjective. A trait is more general, phenotype is more specific. So from the description itself, ang phenotype sabi ko kanina adjective. O, lahat daw ng mga ito adjective except. So, bali ang tinatanong is, alin sa mga sumusunod ang trait? O, letter A is a noun. Letter B is a noun also. Letter C is an adjective, drooping eh. It describes the ear orientation. Letter D is also an adjective. So our answer for number 9 is all of the following are phenotypes except letter E, A and B. Kasi ang letter A, that's a trait. Letter B is also a trait. C and D are phenotypes. So answer natin for number 9, letter E. Number 10, hen-day egg production, parity, and calving interval are examples of what traits? I repeat the question. Hen-day egg production, parity, and calving interval are examples of what traits? A, sex-linked. B, sex-limited. C, sex-influenced. D, qualitative. E, quantitative. Okay, so these are types of traits. So, pag sinabi nating sex-linked, ang gene controlling the expression of that trait ay located or linked doon sa sex chromosome. Ha, sex link, yung term na link meaning located. Yung gene controlling the expression of the trait ay makikita sa sex chromosome. Pag naman sinabi nating sex limited, yung trait na yon ay na-express lang either sa male or sa female, meaning the trait is expressed to one sex only. Sex influence naman, magkaiba yung expression ng male and female. Pareho sila ng genotypes but their expression is different. Depends on the sex of the individual. And ang gene naman, controlling the expression of sex-influenced traits ay makikita sa autosomes. Autosomes or yung mga chromosomes natin present in our body cells or somatic cells. Yung sex-linked naman, yung mga genes ay present sa sex chromosome. Yung sex influence, the genes are in the autosomes or chromosomes in our body cells or somatic cells. Yung qualitative trait naman, pag sinabing qualitative, how you measure the trait or the phenotype for that trait is in terms of category, in terms of words, in terms of ranking, yon. Qualitative yon. Discrete, kumbaga, discrete phenotypes. Yun na, discrete measurements. Yun namang quantitative trait, you measure them in terms of numbers. O, ang halimbawa ng qualitative trait ay coat color. Di ba ang coat color, meron lang tayong halimbawa yung mga coat color sa baka ay black coat color, red coat color, white coat color, yung mga ganon. Distinct or discrete yung mga variables. Pag naman quantitative trait, ang halimbawa ng quantitative trait ay weight. Halimbawa, winning weight. Winning weight ng baboy, sabihin natin. Ang phenotype ng winning weight ay maring 10, 10.1, 10.2, 11, 11.5, 15, 15.1, etc. Quantitative traits, the phenotypes for quantitative traits are continuous variables. They show continuous variation. They are numbers. So, ang ibig sabihin, alin kaya dito ang sagot? Sa number 10, hindi siya pwedeng quantitative trait because parity is considered a qualitative trait. It's a categorical variable. Pwede ang egg production, quantitative trait yan. Pero parity is considered a qualitative trait. So, eliminate natin yung letter D and letter E. Hindi nyo ba napapansin na yung hen-day egg production, parity, and calving interval ay na-observe lang natin, na measure lang natin sa females? So, ano yung description ko kanina or ano yung terminology ulit kanina na sinabi ko to refer to the trait na express lang sa isang sex? That is, sex-limited. Yung mga traits na na-express lang sa babae or na-express lang sa lalaki, we call that sex-limited traits. Okay? So that's for LEA review series, items 6 to 10 for animal science, particularly genetics and livestock improvement. Thank you very much, everyone, for patiently listening, and I hope you learned something.